Hi, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create a shop page template like this. And I'm also going to show you how I was able to add 4 different filters right here on the shop page. As you can see, the user is going to have the ability to search different products right here, filter by price. So you can do like a price range. So I can lower the slider. They're going to have the ability to click different categories. And then up here, this is really cool. You can sort by oldest, newest, alphabetical, top rated, whatever you want right here. To follow this tutorial, I'm going to be using JetWooBuilder, and then these filters right here are going to be using the JetSmartFilters plugin. So let's jump into the backend and show you how easy it is to set up. And here we are on the back end of this website, and this is just using like a standard WooCommerce. So if you aren't familiar with how it works, when you create a WooCommerce store, what it's going to do is create a new shop page automatically for you. So if I go to the front end of the website, this is the default WooCommerce shop grid. So as you can see, there's some options right here. The user is going to be able to click into the products, which is good. And then there's like default sorting right here. But what we're going to do is, customize this 100%. The first thing I recommend we do is go underneath your Crocoblock settings right here and click this button where it says Jet Plugin Settings. What you want to do is make sure that you have all of the widgets that you're going to need enabled already. So on the left side, you're going to click on JetWooBuilder, and underneath Widgets, you could just go ahead and enable or disable any of these widgets that you might not need. And if you notice, they break everything out into the different types of pages that come with WooCommerce. So in this situation, this one right here is called Shop Product Widgets. So you may want to go in here and just make sure you enable any of these that you might need. Okay, so now what we need to do is jump over into the WooPageBuilder. And inside of here is where we're going to be creating our template for shop. So go ahead and click Create New Template. Up here where it says Templates For, make sure you choose this right here where it says Shop Page. So I'm going to type in like Shop Template. And then they give you 4 different options down here. In this situation, let's just go ahead and not select one. And here we are on a blank template, so I'm going to go ahead and just add in a couple different things in order to get everything started. So what I'm going to do is a flex box, and I'm just going to add like a little header right here. So you could just type in heading, we can just say shop, just something like that. And underneath here, let's just go ahead and center everything. You could do a mid-height or padding, whatever is going to work for you, but let's just keep this simple. Do like a very simple light background like that. And then underneath your settings right here, what I like to do is hide the title. So if you click that, this is how it's going to look on the website itself. So now I'm going to just create a 2-column layout, and I'm just going to go underneath the flex box, and this one right here should be good. So it's got a bigger column on the right, and so we can add those filters down here. But let's go ahead and add the grid first, and then I'm going to assign it to your WooCommerce to make sure everything's working, and then we're going to do the filters next. And as you can see here on the left side, you're going to have this tab called JetWooBuilder for all of your widgets. So these are all the ones that we can click and drag into the shop page. So in this situation, I like using the products grid. So let me just click and drag that in here. And when you do that, you're going to automatically see that it's just going to do a 4-column layout. So depending on how you want this all laid out, this is a really good widget because they give you all of these different like presets. So you could just click and see which one kind of, fits your website. So I liked something like this, but let's go ahead and underneath columns, let's just do like a 2-column layout. Let's maybe do 3. 3 seems to fit okay. I like to do equal column heights. And then, there's a lot of different settings in here. I won't go through every single setting, but let's just go ahead and start to turn off some stuff. So underneath badges, I don't think we're going to need that. The short description, we could probably turn off. If you want to have categories on, you can. I'm going to keep that on. I'm going to turn off tags, maybe get rid of the ratings. And so when they hover over it, this is how it's going to look. So I think that looks pretty cool. And right here underneath where it says product numbers, this is of course going to show you just 4 different products. But let's go ahead and increase that to something like a 20. And when you do that, you're going to notice that it's going to expand to 20 items. I believe that this column is probably a little bit too wide right here. Let's just go ahead and change that to something like 25%. The one right next to it, let's change that to 75. So that way it's going to fill up the whole page. So let's change this maybe back down to 4 columns. We should be able to fit 4 right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And as you can see, some of these images look like they're getting cropped off, and that's because by default, right here underneath your image size, it's enabling the WooCommerce thumbnail at 300 by 300. So let me just change that to full, and what that's going to do is give you the full resolution of these images. And so the aspect ratio is going to come in correctly. So far this is looking good. Now let's go ahead and just hit publish. And what we need to do now is link this up to your WooCommerce. So it's not going to have your default WooCommerce layout like this. In order to pull that off, what we need to do is go underneath WooCommerce right here, click on settings. There's a tab up here called JetWooBuilder. Go ahead and click that. Look for this very first one where it says shop page. Make sure you click this where it says enable shop page. Now you're going to go ahead and choose the template that we just created. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and hit save. Now if we go into the store, we should see the new layout. So let's go ahead and go to the shop. And yep, you can see right here, it's pulling in the header right here, and we have our grid of 20 products. And as you can see, what we need to do now is make sure that this header goes all the way across. So one thing I like to do is underneath your settings on your template, what I like to do is underneath template layout, I usually like to use Elementor full width. That way, all of your widgets that are considered full width are going to go all the way across the screen. So as you can see, this container, I changed the container full width right here. Let's go ahead, hit refresh, and now this should go to the edge of the page. Okay, so now that we have the basic layout of this template ready to go, what we can do is start to add some of those filters to this grid. So on your left side right here, underneath your Elementor widgets, you should find this new tab. If you have JetSmartFilters enabled, you're going to have this tab called filters. And this right here is going to be where we're going to have the sorting filter, the search, all of those different ones I showed you earlier. So the very first one we're going to pull in is called the sorting filter. So you just click and drag that above your grid. And let's make that align to the right. So if you go underneath this style, select, underneath alignment, let's sort that to the right. Now what we need to do is configure this filter. So this filter is for, make sure you select that. And we're going to select this very first one, JetWooBuilder Products Grid. Just go ahead and select that. I usually like to have AJAX on value change. If you want to have it where the user can have a button that they click, you can always add that here. But in most cases, I like it where it's just kind of like real time. Now what we need to do is click underneath where it says sorting list. And by default, this is what's enabled. And you can see it's going to give the user the ability to sort from the title, from highest to lowest, lowest to highest, and by date. But let's go ahead and just start from scratch. And let's see, the very first one is, let's say, oldest first. And then what you can do is when you select order by, there's going to be a whole bunch of things right here that you can choose. So you could just do date ascending. Then what we could do is click another one and call this one newest first, and order by date, and let's say descending. So now let's go ahead, hit update, and make sure everything's working correctly. So let's go ahead, hit refresh on the page, and now you're going to see the new button right here. So this is going to be the oldest post first, and the newest one right below it. Now we can give the user the ability to sort alphabetical. So just go ahead and click add item, let's say like A to Z, and order by title. Then what we need to do is just keep this at ascending. Now let's go the reversed order and do Z to A, and that's going to be by title, and that's going to be descending. Hit update. I always like to hit update, hit refresh, make sure it works, so you don't have to do all the testing later. So as you can see, it starts with A, which is the numbers first, and then it's going to go alphabetical B, C, and then let's see if that works from Z. So the last one in the alphabet would be white, then utility. Yeah, so this seems to be working correctly. Now we can give the user the ability to sort by top rated. So let's say top rated first, or sold, however you want to do it. And underneath here, you're going to see this option right here called product sales number. So just go ahead and hit that, and descending. So let's hit update. And any of the items that are, have sold a lot is going to be listed first right here. Let's go ahead and click top rated first. So inside of this one, I have it where this sold like a whole bunch of them. And then down here is just going to be, descending. Now we can jump into JetSmartFilters and let's go ahead and create the 3 different filters. So we're going to start with a search, then we're going to do the price range, and then just one where they can select different categories or tags for the products. So as you can see, I already created some of them right here, but what you're going to do is just click Add New, and let me show you how I have my product search one. The search one is always the easiest one to get set up. So just go ahead and give it a title. So in this situation, I'm just calling it Search Filter Product Search Shop Template. It's kind of nice to put Shop Template here. So if you're going to be using search in a different part of the website, you can use a different type of filter. Then you just choose this button right here, Filter Type Search. And you could choose this right here, Default WordPress Search. And that's it. This is going to be the placeholder. And then down here is your filter labels if you have that enabled. So that's it. You just hit update. Like I said, the search one is the easiest one. Now we can create the price range filter. So just go ahead and click Add New. And of course, give it a nice title, just like the other one. I'm going to call it Range Filter Product Price Shop Template. And then for filter type, make sure you choose Range. Underneath this option right here, you're going to want to make sure you choose WooCommerce Min-Max Prices. And step, what that means is the user is going to be able to do it in increments of 1, 10, 100, whatever it may be. So in this situation, you can go down to like the dollar amount. And then here are some different values you can do for your prefix, your suffix, anything like that. So in the US, we have the $, and then you could add decimal points right here, just kind of like standard label stuff. And then down here, you're going to want to make sure you choose _price. And what's nice is they give you this button right here. And what this is going to show you is all of the different like WooCommerce macros or query variables that you can choose right here. So you're just going to want to go ahead and choose the first one, and it tells you what it is, filter by product price. So as you can see in the future, if you ever need to do a range thing, you could always do by weight, by length, width. This is a really powerful little widget that you can use. So just go ahead and choose that. And then down here, you can also give it a filter label as well, and just hit update. And for the last filter, what we're going to be using is a checkbox list. So just go ahead and click Add New. And make sure you give it a title just like the other ones. Underneath filter type, make sure it's a checkbox list. For the data source, I'm going to be targeting taxonomies. So just click taxonomies. And then underneath here, depending on how you have your website set up, there's a lot of different options down here. But you're going to want to come down into the area where it says product. Then you're going to be able to filter by product categories, tags. If you're using any of these attributes, anything along those lines, you're going to be able to have a checkbox for that. But let's just go ahead and choose product tags. I'm just going to keep this at union. And all of these can be off by default. You don't have to worry about any other settings really. And if you want to give it a filter label, you can always do that right down here. Just go ahead and make sure you hit update. Now we're going to jump into the template and add these widgets to your shop page. And here we are back on the shop page. Let's go ahead and go underneath your filters right here. And you can see right here, there's one called Search Filter. So just click and drag that into this column right here. Now what we need to do is just like the other ones, we need to look for this one right here called Search Filter. And then this is the shop template. Then underneath this filters for, we're going to choose JetWooBuilder Products Grid. So that's pulling in right here. And let's do AJAX on typing. That way the user's not going to have to go ahead and hit apply. It's going to automatically, once they type in 3 characters, will automatically update this grid right here. Now we can pull in the range filter. So let's click and drag that one underneath here. And just like the other one, let's do a search. Range filter product price. This filters for JetWooBuilder Products Grid. And same thing, you can do AJAX on value change. So that way the user is going to click and drag that, update this automatically. And then the very last one is the checkbox filter. So that should be the first one underneath filter. Click and drag that in and just type in filter checkbox. That's what this one is called right here. And you can see these are all the different tags that I have on the website. And then this filter is for JetWooBuilder Products Grid. I'm going to choose AJAX value change. Let's hit update, make sure everything's working correctly on the front end. So let's hit refresh. And let's just choose one category called bags. Let's do bags and belts, make sure that works. Make sure the slider works. So if I start to adjust the price, these items only in that price range will show up. Let's go ahead and reset that and just do a quick search for like sweater. So now the only ones that should show up are the ones with the title, with the sweater in the title. So everything seems to be working correctly. And then of course, since this is Elementor, you could do anything when it comes to how you want this laid out. So if you just want to throw in a simple heading above each one of these, you can always just click and drag that in. And then you could type in like search filter, something along those lines. You can change the HTML tag. You can make it an H3, whatever it may be. Let's go ahead and just choose a P tag. And let's change it so it's a little bit bigger. Maybe let's say like 20 pixels. The weight, we can go make it stand out a little bit more, so you could do like that. Then what I like to do is just kind of duplicate that. Put that one right above the range. And then you could say price filter. And then let's just do one more. Create that, duplicate it down here. Let's move it above. And let's go ahead and just type in something like select category. That way the user knows that they can select a category below. So it gives a little bit cleaner. And then if you go underneath your container right here, if you need to give it some space, globally, it's nice right here. You could type in something like 30, whatever's going to look good, maybe something like 25. That way you give a little more space in between each of your widgets. And then the very last thing is you're probably going to want to have pagination down here. So if you go underneath your JetSmartFilters, they have a pagination right down here. So if you go underneath right here and click in pagination, and you're going to need to say it's for the JetWooBuilder Products Grid. And that's it. Let's go ahead and hit update. Let's do a couple different tests right here. Make sure our labels came in correct. And let's just go down and make sure that the pagination works. So there's 3 pages total. So when you click that, and let's do like oldest, make sure you hit the next button, make sure everything seems to be working. So yeah, this is looking really good right here. So different filters, you can see right here, this is all working correctly. And now I'm going to quickly cover how you can take this template and add it to your JetThemeCore settings if you're using that system. So what I recommend is go ahead and just save out this page as a template, and then you're going to easily be able to add that into your JetThemeCore. So go ahead and click on the arrow right down here where it says Save Options, Save as Template, and you could just do something like Shop Template, and just go ahead and hit Save. Now what we need to do is go underneath your Crocoblock settings, right here where it says Theme Templates. Go ahead and click Add New. And they're not going to be called Shop in here. What we need to do is this one right here called Products Archive. Go ahead and choose that. And for the block editor, I'm going to choose Elementor. And let's just say Shop Template JetThemeCore. That way you know it's separate. So go ahead and click Create Template. And now what we can do is import that template that we just saved, the thing that we just built out. You can add it into here real easy. Just click this button right here. It says Add Template. Go into My Templates. And I called it Shop Template and the Products Grid. So just go ahead and hit Insert. You can go ahead and hit Apply. And that's going to pull in everything that we just built out. So it should refresh right here. Let's make sure everything was added. So we have the pagination. Okay, so that's it. Just go ahead and hit update. So now we saved out that theme template inside of JetThemeCore. Now what we can do is go underneath where it says the theme builder, click here. And I don't have any of the templates already set up, but just go ahead and click Add New Template. Click where it says Add Condition. Instead of entire, what we're going to choose is WooCommerce. And then click right here where it says Pages, Shop Page. So this is going to use this template right here. And I'm not going to be adding a header or footer or anything like that to this template. But what we do need is to click where it says Add Body, Add From Library. And now you can see the one that we just created is right here. So you could just hit Use, and that's it. So now when you go to the shop page and hit refresh, it's now using JetThemeCore to pull in this template. And then one thing to note is if you're using JetThemeCore, make sure that the option that we enabled earlier is not enabled. So if we go underneath your WooCommerce settings, JetWooBuilder, you're going to notice the one that we enabled earlier in the tutorial is not on. So again, if you're using JetThemeCore, come in here, make sure that's not on, and then it should load up correctly. And that's it for this tutorial on how to create a custom shop page template like this with advanced filters. Thank you for watching.